Hey everyone, this is J-Dog, and I'm here with another video. Most of the time, I do not agree with Jemele Hill. There has been things that she has said and done in the past that I have disagreed with. This is probably one of the only few times I will agree with Jemele Hill. Jemele Hill did an article, and here's the article right here, about it's time for black athletes to leave white colleges. So she did this article talking about why it's time for black athletes to start going to more HBCUs and stuff like that, rather than PWIs. Other than that, HBCUs are struggling. There are many reasons why some black athletes do decide to go to HBCUs, or need to go to more HBCUs than PWSIs. Number one is HBCUs are willing to give black athletes more opportunities, not just in sports, but other activities rather than PWSIs. PWSIs, majority of the time, they will only want black students or black athletes to just do sports, which means majority of the time, black athletes will get less opportunities, unless of course it involves the sports that they're playing. Jemele Hill was called a racist and a pro-segregationist, even though there's a lot of white racists who act racist, for saying that black athletes should attend HBCUs. Among them, of course, was the infamous, this woman right here, the infamous retard known as Laura Ingraham. You know, this racist right here, or should I say Horror Ingram. Luckily, there was a person, this man right here, Benjamin Watts, that was willing to defend Jemele Hill. This is despite of things she's said about black male athletes. This one was still willing to get on code and defend Jemele Hill against Lauren Ingram, or Horror Ingram. Matter of fact, here's the video right here.
Reaction to the story we covered last week, where former ESPN anchor Jemele Hill created kind of stir with a piece in the Atlantic where she argued that black athletes should stop attending white majority colleges. What's your reaction to this?
Well, I read the article, and when I saw the uproar over it, I read the article, and I agree with her. She had some great points in that article. When you look at the history of HBCUs and you look...
He got on code, and even if we have disagreements about Jemele Hill, he got on code and was not going to badmouth another black person in mixed company. So he went on code and agreed with Jemele Hill.
Look at the hundreds of thousands of black professionals that have come from these schools over the course of the last several years since they've been created, and you look at what's been lost since integration has happened. What she was saying was simply that athletics is a multi-billion-dollar business. I went to two historically white universities, Duke University and University of Georgia, that have a lot of money based on athletics. What she was saying was that, look, we're living in a time where there's a big racial wealth gap. The average white family has a net income, a net worth that's 10 times that of a black family. And so if we're able to have some of these athletes that create so much income go to some of these schools. Not that white students don't go and students of other ethnicities don't go. We live in a time where everybody can go wherever they want to. But what she was saying simply, if we're trying to pump money and revenue into some of these communities, that there's still this big disparity, this may be a way to do it. Obviously, that's in a vacuum.
Yeah.
There are other factors to figure into that. But when you read her argument, look, she lays it out very, very cleanly, and it's actually something that I agree with.
All right, Benjamin. Well, I think that Duke would have not been thrilled about your not being there, but we'll leave it at that. I mean, the college sports would certainly be a lot different today if we went down a color-coded way of figuring out.
See, she got all frustrated and got all confused and stuff like that, but that is true. These PWSIs, they don't really care about the black athletes, they just care about the money that they make off of it. Like I said before, HBCUs, yeah, they'll get some money out of it too if they had more black athletes. But like I said, HBCUs have a history of giving black students, not just black athletes, but black students more opportunities, or teach more things to black athletes other than just only play a sport than what PWSIs would teach black athletes or give black athletes. Another thing, I want to show y'all this. Alright. Hold on, this buffer right here. Another thing that HBCUs, that black athletes would not face too much. I'm not saying they will not face this situation at HBCUs, but HBCUs there's less chance of black athletes facing all kinds of racism because they will experience more racism in a PWI college than at a HBCU. Not saying they will not face racism or any kind of issue at a HBCU. You had this Colorado State University incident that these students are not going to be punished for doing this blackface because they're saying it was part of the First Amendment right. See, this is the stuff that at PWIs that black athletes or black students in general have to face more at a PWSI than what they have to face at a HBCU. But yet, they want to call Jemele Hill. See, when black people actually do want to go to black-owned businesses, black-owned schools, like most HBCUs, they want to go to create a black political party or a black movement like ADOS, or fight for reparations for our community. All of a sudden, the black person is reverse racist. But when white people do something that's racist, like that blackface that I just showed you, by the way, I'll leave a link to all the articles that I'm showing, all 4 articles that I'm showing in the description box and comment section. All of a sudden is, we don't know if it's racist, or let's get the facts. That's when a white person does something racist. But immediately, a black person, they want to make black people the face of, not the victims of racism, but the perpetrators of racism. Black people are currently the face of being the victims of racism, but they want to change all that. Because this is a racist country. Look, like I said before, there have been things I disagreed or made me not want to support or like Jemele Hill. But I have to also agree, this is like one of the only few things I will most likely agree with her. yeah, these black athletes bring a lot of money. So if HBCUs needed to help survive, some black athletes, there's even black athletes that are deciding that, and because black athletes don't want to face too much racism, some black athletes are deciding, you know what, let's go to the HBCUs again. Because at least at HBCUs, you actually get a better chance of learning, having better educational opportunities or business opportunities, not just only being a black athlete. If it comes to something like, Black history, you have a better chance of learning more about Black history in HBCUs than PWIs, even though there has been some stories about even some black colleges not doing too much Black history, but you have a better chance of learning more Black history in HBCUs than PWSIs. And black HBCUs are willing to help athletes do other activities just in case if something goes awry where the black athlete may not be able to play sports again, but at least the HBCUs is willing to teach them other things like maybe medicine, business, entrepreneurship, and stuff like that. Any HBCU or other black-owned schools or whatever. And then, like I said before, HBCUs, black athletes are not as high at risk facing racism as what they would be if they went to a PWSI. And that's why a lot of white racists and a lot of white people in general are angry at Jemele Hill, especially those who happen to support or run some of these PWSIs. They're upset because they know that if more black athletes go to HBCUs, then that could affect the sports programs of PWSIs. It could affect their money. It could affect their teams. It could affect how these sports, what happens in some of these sports events, these games and stuff. What if they can't win as much games without black athletes? Or what if they can't win championships because they don't have black athletes, but HBCUs? Because how black athletes have high genetics when it comes to that's why we're able to do a lot more of these sports activities. What happens when all that is towards the HBCUs and doesn't go to the PWSI? And like I said before, black athletes generate a lot of money for some of these schools when they attend these schools and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what Jemele Hill is talking about. If we're going to help our communities, that also includes the schools that we have. But I want to know what y'all think in the comment section and description box about the situation. And like I said before, the racism. Yeah, HBCUs may not have much issues with racism. I'm not saying they don't have any issues with racism. It's just, but so far when you hear about racism in colleges, it's most of these PWSIs or other non-black run schools, in particularly predominantly white schools. Remember, I just did a video on what happened to a 6-year-old, although that was a black officer. But I gotta ask, what kind of school was the 6-year-old in? What kind of school that 6-year-old was in that they had to call the police just over a tantrum? But that's another story. But yeah. I want to know what y'all think in the comment section about this article. I'll leave the link to the article. I know I didn't read much of the art or any of these articles, but I just wanted to bring up something. And I also want to bring up the hypocrisy. You see, when Jemele Hill was critical about black athletes, or people were praising her, saying that she was speaking the truth. When she talked about that one article that the very idiotic brothers wrote about black man being the white man of the community, they were praising her. But when she says that, you know what, maybe black athletes need to go to more of these HBCUs so they don't have to deal too much with this racism, or so they can help these HBCUs revenue money, all of a sudden they turn on her. All of a sudden she's racist. All of a sudden she's pro-segregation. And when white people do something racist, they don't call them racist or pro-segregation. They just say, maybe he just confused, or maybe he just don't know. No, he was just being racist. The white racist was just being racist. Yeah, I'm starting to know this. Yeah, they were praising her when she was critical of black athletes, but when she wants to actually do something that could talk about something that could help black athletes, that's when they are going after her. Hypocrisy at its worst. But like I said, leave your comment in the comment section. I'll leave the link to the articles in the description box and comment section. Make sure you like and share the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and hit that notification bell. This is whether if you're watching this on YouTube, Black Junction, Blackster, etc. Also make sure if you're not getting any of my videos, any notification of my videos, check my channel every once in a while to see if I upload a video or not. But, that's all I have to say for now. This is J-Dog. Thank you for watching, and I hope to catch y'all in another video. Peace, everyone.